What's up, everybody? This is Logan Kidder here, and today we're going to be doing the prep work on our deer jerky. Lazy Pond Farm has been all over me about it. This is all meat from the deer he killed when he was down here, or up here, on his hunting trip, and I'm going to get some jerky made up, and some of you all will be receiving some of it. So let's get started. So, when I make my venison jerky, I cheat. I use the Cabela's pre-made, already packaged jerky making kits. The reason I use them, they're really cheap. They make it really easy, and there's no measuring involved. Everything you need is right here in this box. As you can see, prime rib is going to be one of the flavors we'll be doing today. This is set up to cure and season 15 pounds of meat. But they break it down into 5-pound packages. So I've got 5 pounds measured out in each one of these bowls already. And basically, you pull out the cure packet, you pull out the seasoning packet, mix it up, and add a half a cup of water. Get our box opened up. As you can see here, this says jerky, buttery prime rib. That there is going to be your seasoning packet. If you go to the next one, it says jerky cure on the package. Probably hard to see, but you're going to need 1 cure packet and 1 seasoning packet. Open them up. And that is your cure and seasoning. Next thing that's next, we need a half a cup of water. Half a cup of cold water. Be sure you get cold water. You wouldn't want to be adding warm water to your raw meat. Warming it up just does not help things. And then you just mix it all up. As you're mixing it, it's going to feel dry. You're going to feel wet spots. You just want to keep mixing until the seasoning and cure is evenly distributed, and you're going to end up with a pretty pasty, sticky kind of mix. That's exactly what you're looking for. That's the consistency you need to let the cure act as it should, and the seasoning distribute evenly throughout the meat. Now, when we move this stuff to the fridge, all we're going to do is cover it with saran wrap, put it in the fridge, and basically forget about it for 24 to 48 hours. The longer, the better. You get better flavor out of it, and I just want to be safe, using curing salts and all. You want to make sure it's had enough time for that to get into the meat and do its job. Make sure as well as you're going that you're scraping the sides of the bowl, because a lot of that seasoning and cure will stick to the sides before you get it nice and mixed. Smells good already. One of my favorite parts of making jerky, once you get to the stage where you're dehydrating it, the house smells good for about 2 days. Just the aromas of the jerky in the dehydrator. We'll talk more about that step once we get there. So, your meat is nice and mixed. I don't know if it makes any difference, but I like to kind of pack it into the bowl, put a pretty top on it before I wrap it. That's your seasoning and cure and water mixed in with your meat, ready to go into the fridge. We've got 2 more bowls that we're going to mix up, one sweet and hot and one hickory. Wash your hands before you mix up the other bowls and other packages of seasoning. It's important because you don't want to get your flavors mixed up. So, here's to the next steps. Well, there you have it, guys. Prime rib, sweet and hot, and hickory. All seasoned, cured, and mixed. We're going to put these mixing bowls in the refrigerator and wait, like I said, 24 to 48 hours. I'm probably going to wait on the higher end of 48 hours. It's probably going to be Wednesday before I actually get around to putting this stuff through the jerky gun, forming it into the pieces that I'm going to be dehydrating, and running in the dehydrator. So I'll catch you guys later. Alright guys, I'm back. So, the jerky meat has been in the refrigerator for 48 hours now. It is Wednesday night. Had a long day at work and I don't feel like doing this, but it's time to get it done. So, we're going to buckle down and knock it out. One of the tools that is very important to me making jerky is my Cabela's Jerky Blaster. So, what this tube goes along with this handle, and basically, it is a caulk gun for ground meat. So, you stuff the tube full of your jerky meat, you put each end on, and you squeeze it out the end, and it comes out in a preformed either strip. The strips are about 1 inch wide and maybe an 1/8 inch thick is the thickest once you get them dried down. Or the head we'll be using today, which creates sticks. Now, I am going to make sticks because I have not yet mastered cooking the strips. I always seem to overcook the strips, and I know it sounds easy, just back your time off or temperature down or whatever, but it's just a pain. The sticks always turn out better than the strips. So, my opinion, we're going to go ahead and get this filled up. I'm going to show you guys how it works, and yeah, so stick around. So, first things first, you take your tube and the end, which is going to be the end where the meat comes out and forms our sticks. And you want to make sure you use the gasket, a rubber gasket they give you, inside of the end where you will be squeezing the meat out. Gasket's in, you thread it on to the end of the gun, nice and tight. Simple as that. Then they give you this cool little funnel that you can use to assist you in stuffing that tube with ground meat. You thread your funnel on, not so tight, you'll be taking it on an awful lot. So that's ready to go. We're going to start with the sweet and hot meat, and I'm not going to show you guys everything because I'll probably bore you to death. There's 15 pounds of meat here, and it's going to take me probably 2 hours to get it all done. But I'm going to load the gun up, and we're going to start making some sticks. Take it out of the bowl, and stuff it down in the tube. it meets just right. I really hope this turns out well. There's going to be a lot of disappointed people. I'm sure some people are wondering why I'm not wearing gloves when I do this. I wash my hands very thoroughly, over and over again. I definitely am a freak about staying clean when doing this. And I've found that if you use the gloves, you always end up with some kind of goofy taste. And I personally am more about the taste of my jerky. And I don't want to ruin it over something stupid like that. So, wash your hands when you do this. If you're not going to use gloves, don't be gross. Wash your hands, stay clean. Now, when you're stuffing this tube, as it starts to get full, you really got to work it in there. Push your fingers down in the tube, push all those air bubbles out down at the bottom. You're still going to end up with air bubbles, but do your best to fill the tube up all the way. And looks like we are full. So, you want to clean off the end of the tube so you can take your funnel off. Take your funnel off. Set that aside. You're going to get meat all over everything, by the way. But, take the end with the plunger. Can be a little difficult to get started, but there we go. Get your plunger threaded on, and you start squirting. Now you have to move the gun back as you squeeze the trigger. And you squeeze your sticks out. You don't want to create balls. You want a nice, even form. When you get to the end, you press down against the tray to cut it off. And there you have it. Your first 2 sticks. You start back up at the top again. Squeeze the trigger. And bring the gun back. Now, you're going to have little imperfections because you're dealing with ground meat. And let's be honest, ground meat pulls apart. It's not always perfect. But you can set the ugly pieces aside, save those for yourself. Send the pretty ones away to people you want to impress. There we go right there. One end of the gun wants to work, the other end of the gun decides it's not going to start pushing until halfway through. Oh well, it happens. Nothing to get frustrated over. Boy, this is a great first round. Hopefully the whole night doesn't go like this. I'll go crazy. Use your finger a little bit to help them break off. Well, there you have it. That's a full tray. So you can go back while the meat is still soft and, you know, touch them up. Make some adjustments. Straighten them out a little bit. Make sure your spacing's okay. Really, it's all personal preference. If you don't care, don't bother with it. If it bothers you, fix it. But that is our first tray. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in the dehydrator. And once we have all these trays filled up, I'll fire the dehydrator up. And tomorrow, I will be back at making sticks because there's no way I'm going to fit all 15 pounds in my dehydrator. So stick around, see how it turns out, and hopefully we can wrap this thing up soon. Well, everybody, I ended up fitting all 15 pounds in the dehydrator and not even using all the trays. I totally forgot how much space the meat consumes when you make snack sticks instead of the strips. So, now that we've got all the meat formed into sticks on the trays and in the dehydrator, we're going to head and close it up. Go to the top of the dehydrator, turn it on. Go to time, and we are going to bump this up to, we will start it off at 7.5 hours. Now, we're going to go to temperature, and this dehydrator goes up to 160, and that's actually what I normally run it at. So we're going to go ahead and set it at the max temperature, 160, for 7.5 hours. I'm going to let it go. It'll heat up to temperature, and we'll check on it when the timer goes off. Stick around, guys. Well, guys, it is time to wrap this project up. As you can see, our jerky sticks have been in the dehydrator for 7.5 hours at 160 degrees. They turned out awesome. I went through, I checked them all, and every one of them snaps, but it has bend to it before it snaps. So this should be a good, soft jerky product that everybody's going to be able to enjoy. Now, Kevin over at Lazy Pond Farm has sent me these Oxysorb Packets. Now, I'm going to use these in my food saver bags to vacuum seal the jerky sticks and have those packages to absorb any oxygen or anything else inside the bag to preserve them for, I don't know, a long time. I don't see them going bad with all those precautions taken. So, check out the process, and we'll see you at the end. Here's what the packets look like. Of course, do not eat. We've rolled out the bag to, well, I can show you, just over the length of a jerky stick. We're going to go ahead, cut it off. So, once you've cut your bag off, you're going to go ahead and push seal and insert the end of the bag until it clamps down. Now this is just making a seal. This isn't going to vacuum anything yet. It releases the bag, and you've got a good clean seal on the end of the bag. So we'll go ahead and put our oxygen absorber into the bag, and we're going to start with the hickory. So, since some of these bags are going out to people, I'm not going to go filling them up full because, well, I'd run out of jerky. So, I put about 5 sticks in each bag. You've got your jerky in there. You take the end of your bag that's not sealed, put it into the food saver, and now it's going to vacuum down tight against those jerky sticks. Now it's sealing the bag off. And release. And there you have it. Vacuum sealed and oxygen absorption in your package of jerky. Well guys, I'm going to get the rest of this jerky vacuum sealed up with the pouches, and I will be receiving a list of addresses and names from Kevin over at Lazy Pond Farm to send some of this jerky out. If you're lucky enough to get some, I'd appreciate it if you let me know how it turned out, what you guys think of it. So thanks for watching. If you like the video and you like the content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks guys.